my name is Lexi. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, make sure you smash that subscribe button. Also, when you smash that subscribe button, turn on the bell next to the subscribe button. That way you're notified when I upload a new video. Don't worry about the dog bed on my bed. My dog's just sleeping on my bed, in her bed, because, you know, yeah. Anyways, so today in this video, I'm going to be doing a story time on how I broke my ankle. That was a rough patch in my life, and I still have issues from it to this day, and that was years ago. So, before I start this video, if you have, like, a stomach or whatever that can't handle, like, talking about blood, gore, whatever, viewer discretion is advised. If you want to click off the video and you're not into all this, again, viewer discretion is advised, because I'm going to be showing x-rays and stuff and talking about, you know, everything. So again, viewer discretion is advised, and let's get right into the video. This happened January 17th, 2017. We had a neighbor friend come over. We're just going to call her Stacy. She lived across the street from me, and we were really good friends with her or whatever, and it was a good day. We never thought, you know, anything would ever happen like this. We had a trampoline in our backyard at one point, and, you know, this never happened. I don't know why it did on this day, but it did. We were sitting on the trampoline, and my mom went inside the house for not even a minute, because she likes to sit out there with us when we're on the trampoline or whatever, and, like, watch us jump and, you know, watch us do our tricks and everything. It was me, my sister, and Stacy, and I sat down for a minute because I got tired of jumping. I was out of breath and everything, and I decided to sit down, and Haley, I think, sat down too, if I remember correctly. Again, this was in 2017 during this winter or summertime or something like that. And so I sat down, and Stacy kept jumping, and she jumped high, and I was like right here, and she was like right here or something, and she jumped and then fell right on my left ankle, and I didn't know what happened at first. I was in shock, obviously, and I kind of like sat up, looked at my ankle, and started screaming, "You just broke my ankle, Stacy! Oh my god, you just broke my ankle!" So Haley jumped off the trampoline, ran inside, and our back door has like this little screen thing on it, and my mom had it up that way she could hear us when she went in the house. And my sister decided not to open the door and run through the little mesh screen on the door and ran in the house screaming, "Lexi just broke her ankle, Stacy fell on her," you know. And so my mom came out and got me, and we had a little couch in our living room and stuff, and I was laying there crying and everything, and we didn't know how much bones I had broken, what happened, like if anything was dislocated or just broken or whatever. So my dad was like sitting with me so that way I wouldn't move my ankle anymore and cause any more damage to already what had happened. Then again, I was at a young age, not really, like 16, something like that. But I never had a trauma like this before, so, you know, it's not what I intended, but, you know, things happen in life, and this is something I had to deal with. Anyways, so we get in the car and we head to the hospital, and Stacy obviously had to go with us, because her mom was not home at the time, and she kept saying, "I want to go home, I want to go home, I want to go home," and we were like, "You can't go home, your mom's not home, you know, we've got to bring Lexi to the hospital, she's in shock," you know. We got in the car, and I eventually just kind of like stopped crying and just kind of didn't know what happened. We get to the hospital, and my dad carries me in, and he says to the desk person or whatever, broken ankle, and they bring a wheelchair out, and I'm sitting in the wheelchair or whatever, and they take me into that little, like, I don't know what you call it, room where they check your heart rate and stuff. And my heart rate was up and everything, obviously, because I was in a lot of pain. And they immediately took me back to trauma, and they did x-rays and everything, and they found out that I dislocated my ankle and broke my tibia and fibula in my ankle. So they were just like, we're going to put the ankle back in place. The bones are not going to be fixed till tomorrow. And so they, got me ready for putting my ankle back in place and everything. And they had to put me on a little bit of anesthesia, so that way I wouldn't feel a little bit of pain when they popped my ankle back in place. But when they were doing all the stuff, I guess they didn't give me enough anesthesia because if you have not been on enough anesthesia, then you can like hear people around you. You like, I don't know, but basically I was like hearing people around me. I was hearing the doctors, and I was constantly like sitting up watching them like put my ankle back in place, even though I was on anesthesia and my eyes were closed and everything. But the doctors kept telling me that I kept sitting up. I was talking to them while they were doing everything, and I was like, what? And I guess they didn't really worry about it or whatever, because I could see the room like spinning around me, and it was so weird. But hey. Anyway, so we left the hospital, and then again we still had the girl with us and everything. She never went home until after everything, and they obviously told me that I needed pain medicine. By the time we got out of the hospital, it was like 11 o'clock at night, and none of the drugstores were open or whatever. I needed like, I don't even know, some strong pain medicine or whatever to kind of hold me over till I had surgery the next morning. And then again, all of the pharmacies and stuff were closed, so I couldn't get my medicine. So we went back home, and I had this little hammock thing at one point, and I tried laying on that, and I couldn't sleep at all that night until I eventually switched over to my couch in my living room, because my ankle was like this. I was laying like this, and my ankle was like this, so all the blood was rushing like and stuff. And my sister said I kept like groaning and moaning and stuff because I was in so much pain, and I didn't have medicine, so I had to kind of deal with it all myself in a way. And I eventually, my sister said that I kept getting like fever and overheated, so she kept like using rags on my head and trying to cool me down. So I eventually, about 3 in the morning, after me getting no sleep at all, I eventually switched over to my couch. That way I could completely lay flat. I did keep my ankle on a small pillow, but it wasn't as high as the hammock was. So I did get a little bit more sleep. Next morning, obviously, had to go get the bones fixed and everything. So we drove about 20 minutes to a hospital where they did the surgery. And we get in there, I get ready for surgery and everything. And I get out, and obviously had a cast on my leg and everything. And I didn't know, how they fixed everything. I didn't know if they put a rod in my leg. I didn't know anything until, I kind of came off the anesthesia. My mom kind of told me, hey, you have 2 pins crossing your ankle. That way it holds the bone together. And here's the x-rays of what that looks like. And, I didn't really think much of it. I was just like, okay, I have 2 nails in my ankle. It's fine. And I think it was a few months later, obviously, they had to check the bones and everything. And, so we went back over there. They had to, check my ankle and everything, make sure everything was going great. And they were cutting off my cast and everything. And, I wasn't thinking, hey, I'm going to have pins sticking out of my ankle. So they cut my cast off, and I looked at my foot, and I had 2 little pins sticking out the side of my ankle. That traumatized me. But then again, I guess it's just what I had to get used to. They took me back for x-rays, and They were like, everything's healing up fine or whatever, but you're still not at a point of getting these pins out anytime soon. I had these pins in about for what, 5-6 months, something like that. And when I had to get them taken out, went back over to the same place where I went and go get x-rays multiple times of everything, and they took them out. I was obviously in a wheelchair because I fell twice when I was on crutches. I fell trying to get into my house because I have like this little step thing, trying to get into my house, and I fell twice, landing on my ankle, which was not good. They didn't trust me on crutches anymore, even though I trusted myself, but the doctors obviously didn't. So they decided to give me a wheelchair, and I was sitting in my wheelchair when they were taking these pins out of my ankle. And you would think, hey, give the girl some pain medicine, you're finna pull metal out of her leg. No, they did it with me fully awake, and they just said, alright, we're gonna pull them out now. Pull one out, gave me a minute to breathe, yank the other one out. Then again, it's traumatized once again, but, hey. Then I had to go to physical therapy after, getting a boot and all that, because they wanted me to at least try to walk on it for a little bit, even though, I knew my ankle was not strong enough at all. They wanted me to be out that cast or whatever, because they knew that I wasn't able to, take showers and everything. Basically how I did all that was I was laying on my kitchen counter and had my head in the sink once a week, and very uncomfortable, but, then again, hey. Anyways, so I went to physical therapy about a place that was 10 minutes away from me. And I had this one physical therapist up there I knew. He was very nice, and still friends with him. I've been friends with him for a very long time. Anyways, this one lady, I'm not going to say her name because I don't really remember it. Anyways, I was on this thing, they have them at gyms I think too, where you lay down and it's this little push thing and you push off of it or whatever, and it pushes you, pushes you this way, and then it pushes you back this way and you keep pushing off. Anyways, so she had me on that, doing that because I had to do 10 reps or something, I forgot. Anyways, and then she made me get off of that, and normally the guy that I'm friends with would normally help me over there or whatever, and help me not put my ankle on the ground and stuff, because I knew I wasn't strong enough, and the lady decided, we're gonna have her walk on her ankle over to this other machine where it pushes my foot up, because I had no range of motion at all, and so she decided to say, hey, you're gonna walk on your ankle from this point to this point, from over here to over here. And I was walking, and I was stumbling and everything because I couldn't do it, and she knew I couldn't do it, and she pushed me to do it, which I don't think was right, because if I broke more bones, then that would have been a liability on her. But hey, she did what she had to do, and she decided, hey, I'm gonna let her walk on her ankle even though I know she's not strong enough. Anyways, so they decided to keep me in physical therapy until up to the point that I could finally walk again. And once I was able to walk in a boot, I was doing great. I was able to walk. I was able to walk around Walmart every once in a while. I obviously did bring my crutches with me just in case I had issues. And I had, I stopped physical therapy obviously until I started noticing my ankle was starting to get weak again, probably around 9th grade year. I broke my ankle back in 7th grade. And around 9th grade year, I started noticing my ankle got weaker. So I had to go back into physical therapy and did a bunch more exercises or whatever. I don't go anymore. But basically all this just decided to take a whole year and a half to finally get myself back walking again. Then again, this is not what I expected at all to happen. It's what happens in life, and I guess this is what I needed. to learn from. So, yeah. So, you know, I know surgery can be scary and stuff, but, you know, this was a day that I knew nothing was, like, I just thought it was going to be a good, fun day and didn't ever think that I would be having to go through this for a whole year and a half, but, you know, hey. Anyway, so when I was at school, my 7th grade year, my, not janitor person, but the person that builds things, I don't know what you call him, he, saw me in a wheelchair, and my history teacher at one point decided, because I could never get out of my wheelchair. I couldn't sit at a desk. I just knew I couldn't do it. So I always sat in my wheelchair, and the guy made me this, like, wooden thing or whatever, and he, like, measured my wheelchair front and everything, and made me, like, a whole little wooden desk thing for my wheelchair, that way I could do my work on it and everything, which is very nice of him. I used that thing ever since I, like, got out of that wheelchair, but, you know, breaking your ankle isn't fun, and I just never thought it would happen to me, but I guess, hey, it did, and to this day, I still have pain. They did tell me that one of my ankles is shorter than the other. My left ankle is shorter than my right ankle, so I have to use this lift thing. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I have to use this lift thing right here, to, like, make it, like, the same height as my other foot. That way I don't limp and everything. Yeah. And to this day, I still have, like, pains in the side of my ankle and everything. I still have the scars, from everything. I don't even know if you can even see this. But right here, you can see there's, like, a scar right here. It's almost gone now, though, but, I had a pin here, right here, and then another pin over here, and they crossed like this. But, you know, it's just what I had to deal with. So, yeah. So this is my little story time on how I broke my ankle and my traumatizing experience. So, if you want me to do any more story times, let me know in the comments. I will do any story times you want me to do. And, yeah. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out. Love you guys.